Welcome to the tutorial video on develop critical thinking in others. This unit is part of the Leadership and Management Diploma. This particular unit, the critical thinking unit, I would consider to be, as I speak to you now, the baby of the qualification, because it's the last unit to be introduced into the qualification, and it's a brand new theme to be introduced into leadership and management. Really, it's a response to a landscape where we have so much information available at our fingertips, but often that information is not good quality information. And the ability to be able to analyze, critique, and sort out the good from the poor is more critical now than in the past. And not only for us as leaders and managers, but also for us in helping to develop these skills in our team so that we can start to lead and coach and mentor our teams into thinking more critically about the information they have available to them, be that internally through information within our organization. Some of that's formal through policies and procedures, but some of that's informal information they get from other colleagues or here on the grapevine or networks, but also externally, where we have usually at our fingertips through our devices, we have access to information online, be it semi-formal informational institutes like Wikipedia, formal informational institutes such as government websites or educational websites, or informal platforms such as social media, Facebook, your Instagrams, your Reddits to an extent, and being able to guide and create a critical thinking environment, workplace culture where people can sort out the poor information from the good information. That's going to lead us to make better decisions. And if we can make better decisions, we're going to perform better. So if we look at this unit, there's three particular outcomes to this unit. Assess individual and team critical and creative thinking skills. And I'll talk more about the link between critical and creative shortly. The second outcome is to establish an environment that encourages the application of critical and creative thinking. So it's one thing, we can look at our team and go, yeah, look, I can see there's some strong critical thinking skills there. There's some gaps, but now we need to create an environment that addresses those gaps, perhaps leveraging the strengths to mitigate some of our weaknesses. And the third one is to monitor and improve thinking practices. So this is really an ongoing one where we're constantly, a bit like our continuous improvement themes, where we're constantly looking at things and looking for opportunities to tweak, to continually evolve and to get better. So there are three outcomes for the unit. And if I look at the topics that we're going to cover off, there are 8 key topics around this unit. What is critical and creative thinking? And we'll look at that first. We'll break it down. What's critical thinking and what's creative thinking, and how do the two correlate with each other? We'll then have a look at some models of critical thinking and creative thinking. And as part of that, there's some critical thinking tools that I'll present. There's also some creative tools that are embedded within this unit, but they're also covered off in other units like innovation and so forth. So we'll be looking for some of those symbiotic relationships between these units. We're going to look at identifying gaps and facilitating critical thinking. So this assessment, how do we assess critical thinking within our teams? What do we make of that? And then what can we do with that information that we have available? How can we facilitate an improvement in critical thinking, which is really our main goal? We'll have a look at systems for critical thinking. So as part of that, we have to develop some systems in which people can think critically about the information that's presented to them. And then we'll look at creating and facilitating critical thinking environment. And often that's a lot about our leadership, the type of culture that we create, and the norms of behavior that we endorse. And finally, we'll wrap up with evaluating and analyzing these critical thinking systems that I've just been talking about, and just touching very lightly on relevant legislation that pertains to critical and creative thinking.